Let's go, fight fans. Welcome to another episode of That's a Tap. CT with my man DJ. We're here to talk about Vegas, the first card of the year.
Yep.
And DJ, it's been too long.
Man, that's the tap from down under. Good to come down and break down some fights. We're gonna talk about the card, the Vegas card that's coming up on on Sunday for us, and then we're also gonna talk about some potential fight news. Talk about backups and all that. But hey, man, we got the UFC Fight Night. They're starting it off with things in the notorious Apex. So the first fight back, UFC Vegas 67. Man, already there's been some turmoil.
Some hiccups.
You know what I mean? Our good friend Gastelum obviously had to pull out due to a mouth injury.
Okay.
But luckily for us, we had someone willing to step up to the plate, making it a little bit more of a higher ranked fight, with Strickland stepping in. Obviously, he's coming off a loss to Jared Cannonier. Very close decision. Obviously, not a blockbuster fight, but it was just just a normal main event. Obviously lost to points, which he believes he didn't.
Yep.
And then does a quick turnaround and starts. I mean, probably the first time ever someone's ending the year for a main event and then starting it as well as a main event. So there you go. You got Sean Strickland. Now, overall, CT, what's your thoughts on this card?
Yeah, you hit it. I think he's the first guy to back up main event, back-to-back main events.
End a year and start a year.
It's like, because think about how often would that ever happen? Like, only when, I think it was COVID, when Hamzat was just tearing through guys.
Yeah.
I think, or Kevin Holland had like a 10-day.
Yeah.
But that wasn't main event.
That wasn't main event. I think the last time something like this that happened, and I could be wrong here, but if I recall correctly, it was Tito Ortiz in UFC 50 and 51.
Yeah.
Back-to-back main events, so...
Yeah.
But since then now, obviously we've got now a card built around Nasruddin Imavov, the Frenchman, versus Sean Strickland. Currently, surprisingly, I saw he was recently ranked number 11, so that loss to Cannonier has dropped him a fair bit. Because obviously he was top 5 when he fought Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
He obviously got knocked out. So I believe he dropped to 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And then seems like the loss to Cannonier has dropped him out of the top 10 again. But look, still like a renowned name. You obviously entertaining character as well.
Yeah.
But overall, what do you think of the card?
Yeah, look, we're talking just before record, and it's a card where it's not gonna blow people away. It's obviously start of the year, and I think because they've got so many pay-per-views so close together between Rio, Perth, and of course Vegas in March. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
Starting the year, I'm cool with it. I'll look forward to this one. I think great that we had Strickland able to come in on such short notice.
Save the card pretty much.
He's the kind of fighter that's like, don't give a flying about coming in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I guess that may even be the recipe for a more exciting fight, because he's coming with, all the odds are in his favor, right? I mean, he's the one who's taking this fight on short notice, so there's no pressure on him. Like, as long as he rocks up and performs, I think, so a pressure-free Strickland, maybe we could see a little bit more, more of the fight being more action-packed. You're right. Look, is this the best card the UFC can put together? Probably not, even for an Apex event. The start of the year compared to the last card they did, which was the Wonder Boy Holland card, am I right?
Yeah.
So compared to that, this obviously seems a little bit lackluster. Especially, it's in Apex. You would like to think they'll try and set the tone for the new year, saying, hey, look, this year we're going to be on the road, we're going to be talking fans, non-stop. But obviously they start with an Apex event. There's some renowned names in this card, but overall, look, good card. And sometimes these sleeper cards, they deliver, right? Because you could get some back-to-back knockouts and all that. Obviously, the main event being the most intriguing fight for me. I mean, you got Dan Ige in the Corey main event, taking on Jackson. You got Soriano, who's known for his knockouts, fighting out of the middleweight division. You got a a 135-pound fight between the two ladies, Catelyn Vieira and Raquel Pennington.
Yeah.
So that's some got a little bit of stakes. Obviously, we got people like Juliana. So in the 135 division. So Juliana, up there. Irene also in that division as well. So this could be somewhat like a contender fight. Kind of narrowing it down.
Yeah.
We got the popular Nurmagomedov, the name, and there's big news about that too. We will talk about that in terms of Khabib, that is. But as we got Umar Nurmagomedov fighting in the card as well, starting off or kicking off the main card. And look, sort of, and there's a few fights in the prelims as well, but sort of the noteworthy ones were up there in the main card, right?
Yeah, and we just also got to preface by saying it's the first card in a long break. So for the year. So I think fight fans like us and everyone listening and the community is just happy to
get the fights back.
I'm sure these fighters too.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't have had much of a break. They would have had to have been training and
correct.
Not indulge over the holiday season.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's a good point you make because they'll be in fight camp, which means they're in fight camp over Christmas, man. Not the most fun thing to do, but
what are you most looking forward to, really?
Probably the main event, man.
Yeah.
Imavov has been impressive. Obviously, he's beaten the likes of Edmund Sebastian. He beat New Mansa up in France last year when UFC went to France for the first time.
Yeah.
And then obviously Strickland, as I said, is an exciting character. Always you don't know what to expect with him, and that kind of builds the intrigue.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that main event. That'll be the fight that intrigues me the most. What about you?
Yeah, look, I like that, and I'm equally with co-main. I think Dan 50k Ige.
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah.
50k always gives me a good show.
Good show, yeah,
So.
maybe up for the 50k bonus, right? Hey,
That's his name.
Are they increasing the bonus amount because the pay-per-view prices have gone up?
70k Ige.
70. Oh man, no, it's good. Hey, also Soriano, his fights are quite exciting as well.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to.
What do you think of the idea of a different kind of bonus where it's first round stoppage? If someone gets their opponent stopped in the first round, maybe 10k or something like a guarantee.
Was it enticing for them to finish the fight early?
Yeah, you come out guns blazing.
Because they want that anything extra, right? But does that cause the risk of the fighters throwing caution to the wind, abandoning game plans, and we sort of lose the technical element of the fights? You know what I mean?
It could, kind of, but then that's why you make sure it's not overwhelmingly too much, where some people might just say, oh, fuck it, 10, 7k, 10k, I'm not going to let it disrupt my game plan, my chances of actually, whereas the other guy might be like trying to finish you.
Yeah, that's true.
If he's broke.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think, right? Sometimes is 10k enough? It depends on what their base pay is, right? If you got 20 to win and 20 to show, you're not going to risk the 20k to get the 10k. Do you know what I mean? If you lose that 20k. So it probably needs to be more than their win money.
Okay.
The bonus. Yeah. For it to make sense. So I think maybe
it's on top of that. It's like they're 20 and 20, but then if they finish in the first round,
I get what you mean.
More.
I get what you mean, but if they lose,
they lose.
Right? They get knocked out instead. Yeah. Not only do they lose the 10k that they were chasing for, but also the 20k they were going to win.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So it's a 30k loss for them. Yeah. This is better than a fighter who's 20 and 20.
True.
But I like the idea. I mean, we want exciting fights.
How about this? Maybe you do 10 per loser and winner. Like if let's say I got stopped. But someone stopped me, he gets the 10k and I get 10k. Oh. Then it's both incentive to go banging.
Oh, but you'll see some of these fighters going and just copying it to their chin and just taking the 10, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, I get it, it's all about exciting fights, that's what people want to watch. But hey, let me tell you this, look, keep the same bonus system that you have right now, but any fight that's exciting, don't put a limit. There's only 2 bonuses we're giving out today, right? Yeah. Go in with an open mind. I feel like the UFC has been doing that a lot more. I find them doing more and more bonuses for any exciting fights. Was it the UFC London card got so many bonuses handed out? There was another, I think it was UFC Houston, had a fair few bonuses handed out as well. So they're being a little bit more open about it. But if you see the pattern between where more bonuses are being given out, it always relates back to the crowd.
Yeah.
Right? You want to see exciting fights, man, get the crowd involved, right? There's nothing like you coming in for a fist fight, about to throw down, and you got like 10 million people either screaming or booing at you, and obviously that's an exaggeration, but what I'm trying to say is that crowd adds to it. It pushes, you adrenaline pumping, and you're ready to go, man. Like, and you got these people, the noise, the crowd, like it adds to it, right?
Agreed.
Remember the first fight card back with the crowd, the pay-per-view, Usman versus Masvidal 2.
Yeah.
We saw some spectacular knockouts. The head kick KO by Rose Namajunas, Usman flatlined Masvidal, right? So many fights, like, it's just the crowd adds to it. So
definitely
bring the crowd and be open-minded about the bonuses. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. If Dana's in a good mood, and like, let's say it probably has a lot to do with social media views, clicks. If, let's say, UFC's trending because of a big knockout, like you said, they're on the road and he's feeling good. You're right. You sometimes see more bonuses. And also, it's all to do with, like, the prelims do tend to set the tone, DJ. Let's say there's like just some barnstorming fights and finishes before the main card's even started. Most of the time it's usually a good night.
Yeah, that's true, man. Like, I know we didn't go too much into the prelims of this card, but I can guarantee you, like, some of these guys will come and throw down and they'll set that tone, right? True. I mean, we just had to wait and see.
So in terms of, like, let's say, ramifications for this one. Strickland, let's say the main event. What are some ramifications?
I think it doesn't do much for Strickland other than getting back into the win column. Not too much in terms of either title contention, especially having been, knocked out in one of the fights and obviously losing a close decision and dropping out of the top 10. Because don't forget, he's fighting someone ranked beneath him. Right. However, for Imavov, it's a big fight, right? He's one of these names that has been, been in the recent past mentioned a lot in terms of high-level skills and talent in that quickly packing up 185 division, right? We know that it was always been a top-heavy division, but now the top 10's filling up. We're getting some really good contenders who are coming in and, making their case and making a statement. Let's not forget Edmund Sebastian won recently as well. So for him, it's a big thing because he's fighting someone who fought the current champ, right? Who fought another top contender, a big name, right? I think it propels him into that top 10. Imavov. So for him, it has got a lot of ramifications. Conor Main, I mean, man, like, I guess I think Dan Ige is good, but he's been one of those fighters who's sort of been up and down. Not so much in title contention, always just outside of that. But obviously, as you said, he's got a name, puts on exciting fights. But obviously, like, his record's unfortunately not helping him at the moment. So I don't know how much this helps him. Obviously, it might push him up a little bit, but that's it.
He's a guy who's probably more of just a main card filler, like sort of a steady name that fills out a card, but he probably needs 3-4 wins in a row to make a late run, because I think he's getting up there, isn't he, in age?
He is. He's been fighting for a while.
He's been around, but. Like I said, he's been able to do, co-mains on a fight night.
He sort of reminds me of the likes of Cub Swanson. Do you know what I mean? A good fighter, great name, entertaining fights, but then that's just about it. Like, you never see them in that title contention or close to it, right? But again, look, there's different styles of fighters, and then, for them that works. So,
And we'll give a couple predictions quickly before we talk about some of the new news. But Strickland and also the Ige co-main, give us some predictions.
Okay. Well, I actually think Imavov is a really skilled fighter, well-rounded. I'm going to give him the edge. But man, as I said, you can never expect... You never know what to expect with someone like Sean Strickland, right? he could come in like trash talk you, walk you down and knock you out, right?
Yeah.
So that's what makes that main event exciting. But I'm just going to go with Imavov purely because of what I've seen from the past.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that this is a short notice fight for him as much as it is for Strickland.
Yep.
A completely different fighter in terms of height, reach, skill set. Right, Gaslam's very different to Strickland. Both predominantly like to strike, so that's that similarity. But other than that, it's a completely different fight for Imavov as well.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I'll go with Imavov because also we've got to take into account, DJ, that Strickland's last one was a 5-rounder.
Yep.
He went 5 rounds. I think it was decision.
Yep.
So there's got to be a little bit of wear and tear. Having it was such a short turnaround.
Yeah. But you've got to argue though, like, is there a chance where the momentum's on his side? And the reason I'm saying that is that he was getting better towards the later rounds.
Okay.
Right. So he was picking up steam as well. The volume and the output wasn't as much there, but obviously, he was. And having fought and not being knocked out, I think he fought to a close decision loss, right? So you got that cage time under your belt, as opposed to Imavov, who was all the way back in UFC Paris. So, but I'm still going to give the edge to Imavov.
Imavov, yeah. Now, Ige Jackson.
Ige Jackson, man, they're both like very similar fighters in terms of just they just fight with dynamite. They just go at it. Yeah. I'm going to give it to the to the 50K man, the Dan Ige 50K. Yeah. So
he's trying to live up to that name.
Yeah.
Because that's on his side, his bank account's favour.
Yeah, correct. I mean, look, if you want me to go the whole distance and give you the predictions for the entire main card, I'm going to go with Imavov, Ige, Soriano, Vieira, and Nurmagomedov.
Oh, Vieira.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with all of them, except I'm going with the other fighter, Pennington.
Pennington, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Like, she's coming off a win as well. So, yeah.
But that, caps off Vegas 67.
Yep.
For everyone out there, happy to just have everything back. It's going to be exciting. I think, the fighters will be, juiced up to set the tone, for the year. And we might be foreshadowing something because I feel like Dana White, if, to get the year off to a good start, he might give out a few more bonuses.
Oh, he might.
This one, just to start the year well.
Is Dana White going to be there though after everything that's been happening?
Oh, who knows? Yeah.
What's going on with his slap fighting? Is it going to start?
The slaps starting out, and we obviously gave our reaction in the last episode of the Dana White news. So check that out if you haven't already.
Yeah.
But after this card, let's give a quick talk about Rio and then Perth. We had some news. Legendary former fighter, coach, arguably the greatest ever pound for pound, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
It recently, he hasn't come out himself, I don't think. I haven't seen anywhere him announce it himself, but it's reported that he's officially retiring from MMA altogether. So coaching, mentoring, I don't know, traveling the world, doing what happened? What do you make of it?
Look, the only thing that I saw from him was like a very cryptic post thanking his team and wishing them well. It could be interpreted either as a New Year's post or just indeed what's being discussed.
Because he's emotional, right? Remember, he just took off his gloves.
I do believe that. I believe the news that's circulating at the moment that he wants to step away from it. Let's not forget the reason why he wanted to step away from MMA in the first place. One, he didn't want to fight while his dad wasn't around anymore, and two, he obviously made that promise to his mum to say, "Oh, I'm going to be around more. I'm going to be focusing on family more." Let's now reel back time and see since the time of his retirement to now, he's been an extremely successful coach. Obviously, a lot of success, high percentage of wins. But it still kept him away from family. He was always traveling. He was focused on his own promotion, Eagle FC. Then he was focused on all these different fighters fighting in different leagues. So he's got Usman Nurmagomedov who fights in Bellator. He's got the UFC fighters like the Islams, the Umars, and also remember he also helped Bilal Muhammad a little bit there as well. So for me, there was a lot going on for him, and I think he realized like while I stepped away from fighting, right, I'm still not finding time with my family. So probably maybe he was reminded of that by his loved ones, and it kind of what, this new year I'm stepping away, because we saw in that Octagon interview or when the Octagon interview was happening after Islam that he was very passionate about wanting to come and conquer Alexander Volkanovski and that pound number one spot. So I don't believe if he had any choice to not miss that, he wouldn't miss it. Like I think so. This is a serious decision, and also on top of
so close to the thing, bizarre timing.
Yeah, I mean, if it was anyone else, I would say it's all mind games, right? Because I mean, look what everyone's talking about. No one's talking about game plan strategy anymore. Everyone's talking about Khabib's not going to be in Islam's corner in Perth. Kind of puts off his opponent. Like what do you focus on? There's a lot of distractions for them, right?
Yeah.
People start thinking without Khabib, how will the strategy be and all that. And you never know. Khabib might rock up. As a spectator, you never know. But also, the reason I do believe the news is because of someone who came out and confirmed that was his longtime coach, Javier Mendes, who he has the utmost respect for, and I don't think, they're the type, especially Khabib and him as well, to lie or make up stories to gain an advantage mentally over your opponent. So especially not something like this. And what Javier Mendes said was that Khabib stepping away because he wants to focus on his family, and also he doesn't want to miss father time.
Yeah.
But he wants to be there for his kids. Let's not forget, this is a man who worshipped his father and still does, right? So he was and he probably would want to replicate that and be there for his kids, and which is what he's doing.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely, you hit the nail. I'm also thinking, is this just a bit of a break? Like you said, something tells me we haven't really seen the last of that, of Khabib, in MMA. I think it's just him stepping away for a bit. He's still very young. And like I said, he retired and he basically just went into a lot of that without a real, extended break. I'm talking John Jones, Stipe, Miocic kind of break. We haven't heard nothing from them.
Yeah, true.
Haven't seen nothing from them.
Yeah.
And I think maybe in a year's time, 2 years' time, maybe...
Yeah, it could,
see him back doing
as you said, Khabib's not confirmed anything. He hasn't come out and said, "Hey guys, I'm done." Done for good or whatever it is. Yeah. Right? Maybe it could be a break. Maybe
because a family emergency. Where you're just like, I've got to leave Perth.
Yeah.
Let me just leave all this and focus on someone who might be, needing his support.
Yeah, it could be. Obviously, there's a lot of room for assumptions, but I think ultimately, sort of what we need to know is that he stepped away for personal reasons, which. We need to respect that, and obviously, respect his decision. But I'll tell you this, man, like you pointed out, John Jones, you pointed out Stipe, who have been away for a little bit more shorter period than Khabib retired, and Khabib retired back in 2020. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 2023, man, and we're still talking. I know he's been coaching, but we're still talking, and look at the amount of attention. You talk about an impact a fighter's had, even after retirement, and all this, we still talk about him with so much, passion and interest, right? He does something and everyone's quick to jump on it, right? It's this sort of impact that he's had. So, always definitely, whether it's him done for good or whether he's taking a break, man, his legacy is secure, either as a coach or as a fighter, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Because we're so close to the event, I'm sure whatever their game plan is, they already established it.
Yeah.
I think him leaving at this juncture is not going to affect any game plan. They would have had their game plan.
I don't think, and I would like to think that the decision was made well before it was announced to the general public. So I would like to think that Islam and the team knew this, and they were working with Khabib to sort of transition into, post Khabib. I would believe. So, yeah.
Yep, definitely.
But big news, man. Massive news.
It is, given it's so close out. And, we're meant to see who's going to be, who else is going to be in his corner, Islam's corner, or is this just going to be one less guy?
It'll be also be interesting to see, if Javier Mendes takes on the head coach role again, and then, who will be in that corner, absolutely, with Khabib. Because Khabib's always been in Islam's corner.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a big test, which is what surprises me, right? I mean, what made him do it so suddenly and so definitively?
Yeah.
At the cusp of a big monumental moment where potentially a win over Volkanovski cements him as number one pound for pound.
Yeah.
Right? He steps up and takes that mantle. And I think that is a lifelong dream of Khabib and also his father. So for me, it's a bit baffling that it must have been something very serious for him to say, look, it doesn't matter. And the other side could be that he has that much of faith in Islam to say, with or without me, he's going to do it. He's going to accomplish it. And obviously, I've done my part.
Yeah.
So it could be that. So either way, man, like I think we wish him well, obviously, right? And then we are looking forward to the Dagestani fighters setting foot in Perth, because that obviously lets us breathe a sigh of relief. Okay, the fight's definitely going ahead now, or at least 90% there. So we got them in the country and all that. I don't see them missing it for anything. I mean, they wanted the fight. They asked for it. I think it's a big legacy fight as well. Not just beating a champion in another division, but the pound for pound number one fighter.
Yeah.
So for Islam, it's a huge fight.
Yeah, absolutely huge. And on that note, is there any thoughts you've got towards Rio? And of course, we've talked Perth, and we'll talk a lot more because it's close to us. Yeah. But I want to get your thoughts if you've got any on Rio coming up, and also March, because we're getting close to the UK thing, and I think we're going to hear something very, very soon.
They have to
about what's going on with Leon Edwards' defense.
I think Edwards is ready. I think it's Usman, right? But you're right. Let's talk Rio first.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got the most anticipated fight in that whole card is the fourth fight between Moreno and Figueiredo. Even after 3 fights, you just can't clearly put your finger on someone and say, this person's clearly the better fighter than the other. Because it's just been so closely contested. Even the most recent fight, that if you look at the last 30 seconds, it was nuts. They were trading punches, man, like they were trading shares, right? It was just non-stop. And that's sort of the mentality of both those fighters. Moreno's a dog. Like, I mean, he's fighting is in his blood, man. He just doesn't back down. And then same with Figueiredo. Like, he goes at it, and he's visual. Up until he crashed into Moreno, he was unstoppable in that division. He was he was very feared. Yeah. Right. No one wanted to fight him. Let's not forget what he did to Joe Benavidez.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was scary.
Oh.
Right. And then you add Moreno fighting him, and let's not forget he took that fight on short notice, or not short notice, but it was a quick turnaround. He fought the previous pay-per-view and then fought. So if he headlined the November pay-per-view and the December pay-per-view, if I recall correctly, or he was in the November pay-per-view, maybe Cormain, and then he fought Alex Perez.
Yeah.
He obviously beat him quite convincingly, and then he turned around and fought again in the December pay-per-view, which was that legendary draw they had. And then they had the rematch where Moreno got the job done, submission, clear win, clear. And then they do it again, the trilogy, and then you get Figueiredo, getting the nod. I did agree with the decision, and now they're doing it the 4th time. I mean, there's no doubts anymore.
First time in history.
First time in history. Let's just hope this is not a draw. That's the thing, right? Like, you get a draw, you're still stuck with that. Okay, who's better? You've got to do the 5th one. You know what I mean?
I think both are going to go out to try to put this legacy, this chapter to bed.
I mean,
but Figueiredo with the home crowd, how much of that is going to be an impact?
Yeah, but I mean, how much? There was an article that I read which resonated a lot with me. Is that so across the past 2.5 years, right? Considered to be the prime of Figueiredo. He's only fought this one guy throughout, right? He hasn't fought anyone else. So he's now fighting him for the 4th time. That's 4 fights, right? Yeah. That is, we could have seen 4 different fights by 4 different opponents. So sort of a question being raised, have we wasted the prime of Figueiredo? But hopefully not. Like, I think if he does win, right, and then that sets the tone for him to start now defending his belt against a few others. I think Pantoja is there. He's won fights in impressive manner. He had to take that hiatus. He's back, and he beat Alex Perez convincingly. And he's like, look, and let's not forget, he's someone who beat Moreno previously as well. So definitely. He's in the wings. That's an exciting fight, whoever wins. So
yeah, definitely. So that's our quick thoughts on Rio.
let's quickly do say though, Sweet Dreams Hill taking on,
Yes.
Superman, not Superman, sorry, but I call him Superman because, Glover Teixeira, you just can't seem to put him down. He keeps coming back, man. And that Eerie fight was it. The second round, I'm thinking, this guy's done.
Yeah.
Glover's done, and then
this is his chance.
He comes back and
to finally win that belt.
Man,
before hanging it up.
Yeah. Let's not forget he was winning against Eerie. Yeah. Until that submission.
Let me ask you this: if Glover wins, do you think it's quite a possibility he retires?
No, I think
like wins the belt and then just retires.
He could actually.
I don't know if I could see him winning it and then just going through title defenses.
He could actually, but I think the fighter in him or the ego wouldn't let him walk away without fighting Eerie again, especially after they were scheduled to fight.
Yeah,
he wants that fight back, obviously knowing that he was winning that fight until that last moment when he jumped the guillotine and he gave up position. But
he was winning.
He was winning. He had him locked. He could have gone. It would have been a TKO, right? So for him, it would have been like, this is a guy I should have won against, right? Yeah. I want to make that right. Like that's going to be in him. So I think Glover winning the belt would be an ideal situation for the UFC.
Yeah.
What they will do is they'll make that rematch.
Yeah.
Right, because that'll be somewhere in August. Let's just say August. Yeah. That gives enough time for Glover to recover and then Eerie to recover, and then make that fight.
Yeah. Or maybe July, same stadium, same arena, same region.
They could, because they've said they're going back to Singapore.
1 year,
right?
Are they?
Yeah. As in not officially, but Dana said that's one of the regions that they had good success in and they want to visit again.
Yeah.
Singapore. But I don't know if Eerie is going to be ready by then. That's the only question.
True, yeah.
Because it's not just about being healthy, but also having enough time to complete a full training camp. With full health, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Sadly for the people who are missing out or the fighters who are missing out are Blachowicz and Ankalaev. They had that draw, but obviously it's for some reason irked Dana White, and they're not on the receiving end of any favours.
It was, It wasn't a great spectacle.
Yeah.
Respect, two fighters giving it their all.
Giving it a lot of stakes, and I guess, Anyway, hopefully, because Ankalaev is without a doubt a top contender and potentially just a champion, right? So I think it's just a matter of time. He said he's going to come back.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Gives it more depth, more things to look forward to this year. Because remember, they've got to save some juicy fights for fight nights. Yep. Looks like they're going to travel a lot more.
Yep.
And that's going to sell gates. They've got get high gates because whatever fight night, they don't generate. They've already signed the ESPN. Contract, so they've already got a set fee for that. It's the gate takings on these fight nights.
You're right. So they'll probably map it out. Like talking of mapping out, we just said like UFC London hasn't been finalized yet. With just one pay-per-views around the corner. There's one more in Perth, and then the London one. And March is an interesting one because there's two pay-per-views, one in Vegas and one in London. Both the pay-per-views are not finalized, but a lot of massive rumored fights. So I think John Jones will fight in that March pay-per-view against potentially Ngannou.
The Vegas one,
yeah. And then you got the O2, which Edwards and Usman. But then there's news, or again the fighters haven't. Usman hasn't confirmed this, but due to a hand injury, he can't make that timeline. But there's no official statement from anyone. But I believe, it still makes me wonder what UFC hasn't announced that card yet.
Yeah, I think their immediate focus, DJ, is on Rio and Perth, because Perth still needs most likely will need a fight or two to fill out.
Yeah.
And I think they already know London, whatever they add to it, it's gonna be a bumper event.
Yeah.
It's gonna sell out. They'll fill it late. I think that'll be one where they confirm later.
Yeah.
But Perth might be on their radar a bit more.
A
bit more, and then obviously they talked about Africa.
Yeah.
Like shortly after.
Yeah,
that one. So
Dana said he wanted to go to Africa this year.
Yeah.
But there's no confirmed fights yet.
Canada as well.
Yeah. Canada I think is definitely on the cards. It's probably a fight night, I believe.
Yeah.
Is there any popular Canadian fighters at the moment? I don't think so. There
We'll
will be
pick it up
definitely
maybe
fighters,
in the next the next
Yeah.
episode. There's definitely got to be a few
be.
that are peaking.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, with the other ones with Canada and Africa, I think they'll probably be later in the year.
Yeah.
Because after O2, they'll probably do a few Vegas pay-per-views just to, you know, like it's easier for them, you know, not travel every single month.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually, traditionally, the April and the May ones are around Houston, Jacksonville. They do those ones, and then they come back June, July. They come back to Vegas for the fight. What do you call them? The International Fight Week.
Yeah.
And that's when Conor McGregor's rumored to make his return.
Okay.
With potentially Iron Mike Chandler. So.
Yeah. Look forward to it.
Yeah,
Can't wait for the first card of the weekend.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure talking about it and the recent news of Khabib. But we'll touch base after this big event.
Yeah.
Everyone look forward to it. Give us your thoughts. Drop a like and subscribe. More content dropping and a few surprises to come up your way.
100%. 100%. We can't reveal too much.
Yep. So for this episode, it's a wrap.
Until we catch you in another episode of That's a Tap.
Yep. Thanks. Peace.